audience. Shout out to Tough Nerd Toys LLC, Michael Hurdle, the Salty Gamer, Free Play Mode, and all the other affiliates within our network, our little family. This is the New Gaming Order podcast. I will be joined by Mr. Geeking Out. So we'll do full intros after the intro. Be right back. This is a product brought to you by New Gaming Order. Brought to you by Fullscreen.net. They're my partner. Make sure you check them out. Alright, we're gonna open the reactor, fire this thing up, give this power. Rise from your grave. Shout out to Michael Hurdle, the Salty Gamer, for making our intro. Yeah, baby, yeah. Alright, so now we got that out of the way. Shinwar, what's going on, brother? Thank you for joining.
What's up? What's up, man?
Alright, so before we get this thing off and popping, I want Shinwar to, I guess, do another plug for the event at the Microsoft Store. If you have a second or two to do your thing, brother.
Yeah, so on January 26th from 5 to 9, we're doing a launch day Dragon Ball Fighters tournament at the Microsoft Store in Bridgewater Commons, Bridgewater, New Jersey. Alex has the flyer, so you'll be able to see it
Yes,
once he
sir.
puts it up on the broadcast. But yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. So there's actually a link to register for it, so we can start getting accountability of heads that are going to be coming through. So I'll give the link to Alex so he can put it up.
Yes, yes. If you can shoot that to me, I'll stick it on the screen. What? No comment. Yeah, matter of fact, I'll do that right before we get started. So I'm gonna just run the little audio clip in the background. So yeah, this is gonna be. I think we have 4 units that we're gonna have at our disposal, and Shinwar did make an event. So if you're on Facebook, I'll have a link on the YouTube archive for this, so you can get some further details and things. Now, this Shinwar, if I may, I want to make sure that you guys are aware. Bring your own controller because I'm not comfortable supplying my arcade stick. I mean, you know how we can be with that. Only certain people are privy to that. But
Yeah.
yeah, bring your own stick. All right. So again, this is going to be on the Xbox One X. So it's at the Microsoft Store. So exercise common sense with this. All right. So yeah, I mean, like we had some folks. No comment. I'll just leave that alone. But before, yeah, I actually wanted to show. Oh, and I'm putting up the wrong link. What was this Microsoft link you sent me?
That's where you register.
Oh, okay. I will put that in the YouTube, but I'm actually looking for the flyer itself. All right, so I am gonna have you guys take a look before we get started. This is an interesting topic today because it's some of the folks here in the gaming community can be extra fickle. They gotta understand everybody's different, So it's what it is. All right. Oh, matter of fact, I can just click on it there. All right. And you know what? That's what I don't like about XSplit. I hit it, and it went to another thing. But no biggie. Oh wow.
What?
Yeah, XSplit is acting up. Yeah, but as you can see, that's a funny meme. What you're seeing is actual like my live Facebook that I'm logged into, but that's the URL that will take you to the Dragon Ball Fighters launch event. So for pre-registration, so we can gauge how many people will be coming. So it's directly in the stream. I'll have the link in the chat. So with that being said, the reason for this podcast, I want to give a shout out to Fighting Gamers X Turbo Plus Alpha, the group on Facebook. And, unlike other podcasts that I've produced, I wanted to, hit a different topic, something that's live. And apparently, all right, you have Dragon Ball XenoVerse fans, that community, at odds with the Dragon Ball Fighters community, or vice versa. Now, some of the comments, and Shinwar and I had a discussion earlier today where I'm just like, what the heck? Why are these people at each other's throats? You know, apparently some people don't like Dragon Ball Fighters because it's supposedly a little too simple, or it took away some of the essence of what Dragon Ball is. And because it's a 2D fighter, but that doesn't make sense to me. What do you call Dragon Ball Budokai 1, 2, and 3? You know what I mean? And what about the DS games? I mean, there's this like there are a lot of Dragon Ball fighting games, but it's still Dragon Ball. You know, so why is Dragon Ball Fighters any less a Dragon Ball game than XenoVerse is? You know, but I wanted to give Shinwar like some time to talk about that, or kind of lead into what we were discussing earlier. But Shinwar, your thoughts? What was going on today?
Well, it just seems like Dragon Ball purists.
Dragon Ball Beerus. Yeah, I know he's in there.
Yeah, purists that that really like Xenoverse due to the leveling up and quote unquote power levels. Feel that Dragon Ball Fighters uh, isn't Dragon Ball S in regards to the power levels. So, for example, obviously in a fighting game, in this particular fighting game, they feel like Yamcha should not be able to contend with Beerus. In Dragon Ball lore, that is most likely probably accurate and correct.
Most likely that
But
he'll just sneeze on him and kill him.
yeah, but for the context of a fighting game, pretty much the playing field is level. So
N-
it has, nothing to do with lore or power levels. But so you want to enjoy. So if you like the character of Yamcha or Tien, and you fight somebody that's like a Cell or a Boo, you know, canon wise and anime wise and manga wise, Cell and Boo will mop the floor with Tien and Yamcha. But
Mhm.
Dragon Ball Fighters allows those characters to be able to give them a challenge. And if I'm not mistaken, the creators of the game said that so if you have like a Krillin, who we
Mhm.
all know can compete with a Beerus, but then
Mhm.
if you have a Super Saiyan Blue Goku on the team, that makes up for it. So if I'm not mistaken, that makes up for the deficit of a weak character,
Mhm. They're tools.
because it's a team based game.
Yeah. Now, I do remember the director was saying that if you utilize the characters in the way they're intended, like Krillin, he's supposed to have access to sensu beans, correct? Or for some sort of like
Yeah.
healing. So,
Hmm.
yeah, he might get his butt kicked in, but he might serve a purpose to further augment some of the stronger characters. But
Right.
with all things considered, I want to give a shout out to NetherRealm Studios for addressing that very issue where they did a story twist where it would make it where Joker can actually fight Superman, and
Yeah.
Batman and so on and so forth. So, like, you remember it's a fighting game and there are rules to fighting games. So some of these people are just taking things a little too seriously, and that's why I have the Facebook thing in the background, because some of these comments I actually want to take a look at, and I'm just like, all right, you know what? Chill out, relax. Xenoverse, we know it's more true to what Dragon Ball is. Yeah, that's what its intended purpose is. Oh, it's a casual. Look, okay, to me, this is what Xenoverse is: Final Fight, an RPG, arena fighter, objective. Like it does so many things and does them well, and kind of has that MMO Final Fantasy meets Final Fight on a grand scale. It's not a fighting game,
Yeah.
so you can't compare Xenoverse to Dragon Ball Fighters. Dragon Ball Fighters cannot be compared to Xenoverse, even though they are using the
Right.
same source material. They're two different expressions of and celebrations of what we care about in terms of
Yeah.
the story. I think Shinmar agrees with me. But I mean, if you were to describe Xenoverse, what would kind of label it as?
RPG. Um, it's like remember the Spawn game that came out on Dreamcast?
Or like an arena fighter type?
Yeah, it's Arena Fighter or like Common Rider Climax Battle. It's sort of like that. It's not your traditional one-on-one side scroller fighter.
Mm-hmm.
So you really can't compare the two. It's like apples and oranges. You can't compare the two.
Exactly, exactly. Now, you know what? I will say this. I know Shinwar and I were discussing, like, okay, if you're doing expert missions on XenoVerse, right? And like Boo, Shenron, or Janemba throw one of those big beams, and then you're like actually trying to stop it with your hands, and the one teammate is
The
actually,
beam struggle.
yeah, the beam struggle. I would have liked to see that in Fighters, but it's a fighting game. You know, Shinwar made a good point earlier today talking about if you had a QTE like that, and for the type of games Dragon Ball Fighters is going to be, that would kind of break up the pacing of the game. You know, you might be in the heat of battle, and then a QTE pop up. Now you're mashing on buttons. Like, I get it. You know, but I would have liked to see something like that. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure did it well. Like if you got your stands that are clashing with each other, for example, Dio and Jotaro, where Star Platinum versus the World are going at each other. Like you see, like the fist going up, and you're mashing the button. You know, and
Hmm.
I think that they could have done it in that fashion. You know, and it would have been cool if they had the party mode where all six players, let's say there's a three-way beam struggle, me, Noop, and Shinwar are mashing buttons trying to beat out the other team or overtake them. That from element from Xenoverse I would have liked to see it in there, but again, it's a fighting game.
In fighters,
Yeah, that would have been cool.
I think I would have slowed down the pace of the game.
Yeah, well, I
I don't
mean,
know. It depends on how they would have worked it. It all depends how it worked.
yeah, true, true, true. But I mean, I'm looking at some of these comments here. Like, for instance, it's more like a Street Fighter than a DBZ game. They could have done it like Budokai 3. That's dumb because Budokai 3 was pretty much dial a combo special moves. Like, it was all Raging Demon input type things. You know what I mean? So you're ripping on Dragon Ball Fighters, but saying, oh, they could have done it like Budokai 3. Like what? That's a fighter. Dumb.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they find an excuse, make a competitive game. You know what? Oh, f you're competitive and blah blah blah. That I'm
Yeah.
trying not to curse too much on it, but Mighty Zeke, what's going on? Thank you for checking out the show. But yeah, no transformations, not enough characters, no clash between power waves, no flying. I don't call that a DBZ game. Don't tell me that I'm wrong. Blah blah blah. All right, I said the same things, but just not in a that's pretty much like you're calling fire to yourself. Like so this dude said that he should have his Captain America heat shield because some people who do like Dragon Ball Fighters or who do like fighting games but still want to experience Dragon Ball in their arena, don't go crapping on them. If you like football, you can't say, hey, you know what? They should have linemen on the basketball court. It's a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you want to see tacos on the basketball court when it should be in a
Taco.
football? Yeah, tacos. But as far as they're saying, oh, that Guilty Gear, not Guilty Gear, but Dragon Ball Fighters, made by Arc Systems, the Guilty Gear developers, is lazy is 100% wrong. I disagree.
Yeah.
That's completely subjective, you know. But as far as that, and I'm trying to keep Ace from messing up the show, but I mean, now look at how this is devolved into crap. All right, they deserve no attention. They're lesser. One group is attacking another group, but at the end of the day, it's funny. They're all Dragon Ball fans fighting with each other. How dumb is that, Shinwar?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, like I
Like,
said, there's people that are purists, and they say, but
mm-hmm,
this Dragon Ball game is the game that the Street Fighter people,
won
and
it.
and I think also I think what happens is now the FGC has
Mm-hmm.
entered the arena because this is a pure fighting game.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean it's good. Wait, you said Xenoverse? I think you
Mm-hmm.
said it. Xenoverse and Fighters can coexist.
Yeah, I think that honestly, remember when we were talking about how DB's, well, I'm gonna kind of give an acronym, but XenoVerse, right? XenoVerse saw a lot more DLC than it should have. And I think it's because of fighters, because people are still salivating to get their fix of the characters. So I think both games can help each other. You know what I mean? Because you got those Xenoverse exclusive characters. Who's to say that they won't show up in fighters someday? You know?
Right.
So I think that instead of people being at each other's throats, like I'm reading some of this crap, I'm like, what the hell? Like casuals and this and that. It's like, look, can't we all just get along? Like, I'm just saying. At the end of the day, if you're not going to play fighters, don't play it. And then you don't have to rag on it. You have your right to dislike something, but you don't have to trash it. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know, I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna continue enjoying Xenoverse. They're two great games in that universe, and Xenoverse is a fresh new idea that keeps Dragon Ball relevant. You know what I mean? And considering how Dragon Ball Fighters is gonna have its own story, or like a what if mode, you know what I mean? It has the creative freedom to experiment and do some great things. So take the positive in all of it, you know, and stop being at each other's throats. Some of the insults, it's like, oh, F1 might say, I have a friend that tell me won't get it because it plays like Street Fighter 2 and he hates Street Fighter. Okay, you know, Dave Edwards says that on there. I mean, it's all right. Mighty Zeke said in the chat, I might not be a Dragon Ball fan, but I'm still buying Dragon Ball Fighters no matter who's trash. Okay. But Shinwar, for Dragon Ball Fighters,
it's meant to open up to a new wave of players.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what I mean by that is, so it's if you don't like Street Fighter, well, hey, you might, if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you could like it. If you're not a Dragon Ball fan but you're a Street Fighter fan, you may have not liked Xenoverse, but now you have a Street Fighter-esque game with Dragon Ball characters. Actually, more of Marvel type.
Now, if they all were not being so fickle and having their heads up there behind like an ostrich, they would kind of understand that this will help Dragon Ball as a whole. Because on the grand stage of them all, Evo, seeing Dragon Ball show up on there is going to really help the franchise overall. Like, I think
the franchise doesn't need help.
No, I'm just saying, like, for in terms of support, like for the Xenoverse people, I'm telling you, like, more people will be like, oh, if they didn't know Xenoverse existed, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, you know what? If you're playing fighters, hey, why don't you check out Xenoverse? Oh, I might go buy that game. Thus, getting more DLC, more support, or even Xenoverse 3. You know,
well, I'm surprised that Xenoverse 2 is still being supported.
What?
Xenoverse 1 did not get this support.
You want to know why though?
What?
The reason for that was just a test. Like, they scaled back everything they wanted to put in that first Xenoverse. They didn't think it was going to be a success. So what they did, the 2 DLC packs, then they rushed and did Xenoverse 2, which was supposed to be the original game. And then, you know, now they got all that stuff. That's why you're seeing more support. You know what I mean? So, looking at a couple of these comments here, I'm just, you know, I'm leaving it for you guys in the chat and for our YouTube audience to see. Like, it gets really nasty. I'm like, come on. You know, people, like, I even saw something like they're questioning somebody's sexuality or whatever. Or, like, come on. It's too much. And then the meme with Goku Black with the coffee. I mean, I'm looking at one comment here. How is this a DBZ game with the best graphics ever lazy? Okay, now, again, everything here is subjective. For that person that actually started the whole thing, and shout out to Patrick Rhetoric, who posted this. He's like, the Xenoverse casuals, I swear, day one will be open season. I'll show them no mercy. You know what? To refute that, it's like, what's the point? Like, if that person is ripping on the Dragon Ball Fighters, and he's not gonna play it, who are you gonna take it out on? Just enjoy the damn game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But I mean, with that being said, Shinwar, do you have any final remarks on that, to the community and to Fighting Gamers X Turbo Plus Alpha?
I mean, the more people that play it, support it, the more the companies will see that, and they'll continue to lend a hand to it. Like I'm looking forward to the day, just like you have a Capcom Pro, Capcom Cup, and then you have the Injustice Pro Series.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe Bandai and Arc Systems, we can get a Dragon Ball Fighters Pro Series. You know what I mean?
And you know what would be a good idea?
It's gonna be so. It's gonna
If
be hype.
each tournament would be like, you win a Dragon Ball, and keep that tour going until you get all 7 Dragon Balls. You get a wish at the end of the culmination, like Battle for the Stones. I think that would be really sick. You heard it here, folks. New Gaming Order and Geek-N-out, because I know somebody's watching, and I know we're a little obscure, but some of our things that we say somehow it manifests itself. So I'm gonna put it out there. You heard it here first. If Bandai Namco does a Dragon Ball Fighters World Tour type thing, have tournaments throughout the year, and make like actual Dragon Balls, and don't do it like, a certain company where, the stones are not what they were advertised to be. So it is what it is. Look, in some of the comments, DL Gross, LOL, cry harder. Well, come on. Look, let's just get along. We all like Dragon Ball. And another guy's like XenoVerse. Like, why? It just terrible. Is XenoVerse good? I'm interested in trying it. All right, Mighty. Go on the New Gaming Order cross stream, where pretty much me, Shinwar, and Thumb Thrasher Gaming were actually doing PQs together. They were helping me get win conditions. Like, we were hitting objectives. Like, literally, you could do missions. You could do missions in the areas where, let's say you're trying to Z rank it. You're trying to beat something on time. You guys can split up. There can be a battle going on in one area in the wastelands. In the sky, Shinwar can be fighting Beerus and Whis, and Smart Brother can be fighting somewhere else. While we're talking, we can like, hey, I'm in trouble. Come over here. Like, they're actually trying to teleport and get to you to provide some support. So I'm telling you, if you don't know XenoVerse, go look at our streams. You'll see how it's so much fun. And to Mighty, there's a triple team move that me, Shinwar, and Noop did on Majin Buu, Cell, and Frieza. I was hyped. It was pretty cool. So, but with that, again, I do want to give you another second to do a final comment, Shinwar, and I'll do my final, and we'll just be out of here.
No, I'm excited for the game. I mean, it's literally right around the corner. I think there's one more beta, and then the final release on the 26th. So I'm excited for it. Can't wait.
Now, you know what? Those of you who are watching the stream, Kenneth Wright put something in the something with esports. This dude flipped out and he smacked the screen. And he flipped the table? Like, what the heck is going on? Wait, going to get this game and train. Then it's open season, boys. A lot of people are talking trash on Dragon Ball Fighters, and they'd probably be the first to get beat up. And lo and behold, remember, the beta probably won't play like the final version. So those of you who are abusing the wave dash and then constantly attacking, I'm pretty sure that they fixed that. Oh, as you can see, me and Shinwar had responded about 12 hours ago. But with that, I want you guys to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on NewGamingOrder.com for the latest and greatest. Make sure you also are checking out Geek-N-out Official. Matter of fact, Shinwar, you picked up some comics today, right?
Yeah. Comic Book Wednesday.
Where were you at?
What happened?
Yeah, where'd you pick that stuff up? Alright.
Oh, I don't disclose my
Oh, you don't
information.
pull? What? Wow, yeah,
Yeah, I
hold,
can't
it's,
disclose my
ew,
location.
ew, he's holding out. Alright, so with that, I'm actually gonna pull up the flyer for you guys while, I do closing remarks. But, yeah, I want to give a shout out to the Microsoft Store for supporting Shinwar and Geeking Out. And I want to thank Mr. Geeking Out for allowing me to be an associate and supporting in this project. So I'm actually going to put that up for you guys to see. Um, and for those who are trying to troll me on my Instagram, while I was simply trying to promote for Shinwar, get your life. All right. All right. So wait, hold on. I'm trying to find the picture. Hey, stop it. All right. So wait a minute. Where's the flyer? Where's the flyer? Ding, 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 ding. All right. So for those of you who are definitely coming, I would say you can actually inbox me or Shinwar if Shinwar is down for that. But there you have it. All the details are right there. I'm actually making it bigger. So 400 Commons Way, Bridgewater, New Jersey. Microsoft Store. Free prizes and more. Friday, January 26, 2018 from 5 to 9 p.m. And that will actually replay Friday night fights that night. So there will be no Friday night fights, but it will be that tournament event. So we're gonna prepare to do streaming from Mixer, from 4 different consoles, and then there'll be the main stream where I'll try to do commentary as best I can to keep you guys engaged and informed. But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure you hit that Facebook event. So here it is, the official flyer powered by the Microsoft Store, and this is the Juggernaut, Geeking Out, New Gaming Order. See y'all next
The
time.
Huggernaut.
The Tuggernaut? What? That is not my name. Alright, folks, we will see y'all later. And Shinwar, thank you for participating. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.